So we have an exclusive here on VR Reviews. This is the first ever interview with Incuvo Games about Green Hell VR. This is the psychological thriller wilderness survival game coming to PCVR and the Oculus Quest later this year. So we're going to get the inside scoop. We're going to be talking about things that haven't been discussed anywhere else. So make sure you stick around. And if you like exclusives and you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button and the subscribe button and notification bell to be kept up to date with all the latest content that's coming from this channel. I'll also have links to all of the game's socials and websites down in the description below, so do go check that out. Reach out to them if you have any questions. They're super friendly and very open and eager to hear your thoughts and feedback. So we have a very exciting interview today. I'm joined by Cami. So Cami is the head of marketing at Incuvo Games. So Incuvo Games are responsible for games like Blair Witch Project VR and Layers of Fear, and of course the game we're going to be talking about today, which is Green Hell VR. So welcome, Cami. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Tony, for inviting me. I'm super excited for this interview.
So am I, definitely. This has got to be, like I say, one of my most anticipated games of 2021. So yeah, when I heard you were going to join me for an interview, I did leap up from my chair a little bit in excitement. So I'm very happy to be here chatting with you. And I have a bunch of questions that I'm hoping we can get through today. And the first one is probably the juiciest question I have on my list, and that is, are you able to give this channel any exclusives, any information about Green Hell VR that we haven't heard before?
So we have one thing exciting that we wanted to share with you today that nobody has seen or heard about yet. And this is the backpack that we're going to be using. So what we are trying to do now, we're experimenting with different ways that we can use that backpack. So we want this option to be as immersive as possible for the player, but at the same time, without compromising the ease of the use for the VR player. Because obviously the flat version versus the VR version, they have different mechanics and different expectations. So when you have a backpack, we don't want it to be super simple, and we want you to see actually what's inside the backpack. We want there to be a different slots for different items. And so we're experimenting on this right now. So I'm super excited to see how it comes out and share with you more details about it.
Yeah, I'd love to hear more. So this backpack, is it going to be as close to real life as possible? Is that the goal?
Exactly, that's the goal. We, in the beginning, we had a backpack where when you put something bigger in a slot, it becomes kind of weird because you're putting something much bigger in a smaller backpack. So we're working on making our way around this so it doesn't break the immersion for the player.
So I'm really glad to hear you're working on things to make them as real as possible, and so it doesn't break that realism factor, because this is like a realistic survival game, or it tries to be, doesn't it? So
exactly. So we really don't want the player to be in and out of immersion. For example, when you have hallucinations in the flat version of the game, it's an animation. But in VR, if we put just an animation, that would break the immersiveness of the game. So we actually have to design and develop also the hallucinations so you can interact with objects and do things while on ayahuasca.
I don't think I've ever had a hallucination in VR, and I look forward to having my first hallucination when it comes along. That sounds really exciting.
Right. Also, the protagonist has his mental health. So
that's right.
when that's deteriorating, you also get some visual and sound effects that make you hallucinate.
Fantastic. Because it is very psychological, this game as well, isn't it? Yeah.
I think so. I think it is with the most survival experiences that aim to be as real as possible. So this is something that we really want to do, and we're not going to make it easy on the player, definitely.
Yeah.
We do want to adjust some mechanics and things so they work better in VR. So the player is, for example, not forced to do the same thing over and over and over again. Obviously, that's still the part of the game because you got to work for it.
Yeah.
But we want the player to be comfortable when he plays.
Yeah.
Fantastic. With challenges.
Yeah, but challenge. That's right. I like a challenging game. And so it's really good to hear. Yeah, and I know that in this game, in the flat screen version, you know, if you have leeches on you, for example, you don't pull them off quick enough, they will make your mental health deteriorate and things like that. So it sounds like that's very much part of this version too.
Yes. So the PCVR version is kind of closest to the original source, so the flat version of the game. This is because the PC version is more powerful. PCVR's Steam VR, you know, you use your computer for rendering and everything. So this version of the game is gonna stay, I would say, the most true to the original, but we are adjusting a lot of the mechanics, a lot of things that you can pick up, and most of all, that you can inspect every single thing. So you can pick it up with your physical hand and turn it around, rotate, and look at an object and really inspect it. And the same with your forearms and your legs.
That makes me so happy to hear that. Yeah, because I know you could do that on the flat screen game, but obviously it's not the same. VR is I think it was such a good choice for VR because this game is so hands-on. You're always using your hands to make things, shelters, fires, fishing, whatever. That's perfect for VR. That's what VR is made for. And so I'm so glad you can actually start, do this in virtual reality.
We are very excited about this game, and we've been for a long while now. Actually, our CEO is the one who really wanted to make this game. So because he was such a big fan of the flat version, and he was like, this is perfect for VR. So Creepy Jar and Incuvo both agreed, and here we are.
Great. You kind of answered this question already, but how faithful will this port of Green Hell VR be to the original flat screen version? How similar can we expect it to be?
So the PCVR version is going to be, like I said, the most true to the original. So I would say the story, the places and everything, the environment, it stays the same. Most of the weapons, things like that, stay the same. But we obviously have to change a lot of things, like the mechanics that have to be changed so there's better immersion. With some items that are in the flat version, it wouldn't be possible just because of the technology. This is why we are testing every mechanic personally, really inside the office. And we want to make every mechanic as true to the natural movement that you do. So this is something that's very important to us, that when you shoot a bow, so that you can actually extend your arm and push back with the other, there's no clicking a button for something anymore. So these are, I think, the biggest differences, because the mechanics are going to be so much bigger. There's going to be so much more interaction with the items. And when it comes to the Quest version, It has it's going to be a little looser connection to the original because first of all, the platform is different. So we have to optimize everything for this platform, as well as change some mechanics. But we are also working on making the Quest version a little bit different from the PC VR version, but that's still a little hush hush.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, I'll look forward to news of that when that comes. So there's nothing you can. I'm just gonna put it out there. Is nothing else you can give us on that right now?
I can say that it's going to be different. For example, to manage the inventory, crafting is going to be different, and building is going to be different. We are thinking, because also Quest is more for a casual player, and only now it's growing to be something also for the hardcore players. We don't really have hardcore games on Quest yet, I would say. Nothing so big as Green Hell.
Mm. Yeah.
So we are also thinking about the player that we want to attract. So with the Quest version, it's going to be a different type of player than the PC.
Right. I get you. Yeah. Okay. It'd be interesting to see, yeah, how, and is that a decision made because, so it sounds like, is that a decision made because of the player, the type of player you're aiming for, in addition to the power of the Quest, or is it mainly?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's both. It's
Okay.
really both. But when it comes to the Quest version, we started developing it completely separately because we didn't want to compromise any version of our VR game because of the platform. So that's why we started developing Quest and PCVR completely separately. So they have the same goals, the same idea. It's just that those two teams are thinking in the way of the platform. So they know how to make the best immersion given the platform. So this is what we are really spending a lot of time on, and we are also making sure that the versions are consistent.
So I guess my next question will be, will this game be for both the original Quest and Quest 2?
That's what we're planning on. That's what we're counting on, definitely. And future quests.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right. There's hints about Quest Pros coming along and all of these other potential things.
Maybe.
Oh, it sounds like you might know a bit more than I about this. Is there something that developers have been
you
told?
work closely with Facebook.
Right.
So the owner, obviously, of Oculus. So we do have some cool information about it, and we really want to make it to Quest 3 for sure.
Okay.
Or Pro.
Right. Okay. Oh, well, now you got me really curious. Like, this is a question that's not on my list, but is there any more news about this Quest 3 or the Quest Pro that you can tell us? That
honestly, I can't.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Well, I can't blame you for trying.
Of course. You know how many people are trying to ask me questions that I can't answer?
Yeah.
Every day online.
So I imagine there is some pressure when it comes to porting games like Green Hell, because it's such a popular game. It's like 8, 9 out of 10s on the flat screen devices. People love it. So there's a bit of pressure there. And what are some of the challenges when it comes to porting games like Green Hell VR?
I'm not going to say that that's a challenge, honestly. For us, it's a great starting point. We already have a dedicated fan base that is super helpful when it comes to any sort of ideas, things like that. It's great. And the fact that there's so much interest in Green Hell VR already, it's due to the community. They are the best. Really, Green Hell has amazing community, amazing fan base, which I absolutely adore. And I love interacting with people on Twitter, on Discord. So yes, please come talk to me. I
I'll
think
link it out in the
great
description
place.
below as well.
Yes, please.
Yep. Brilliant.
Did I answer the question or did I
No,
go
that's
around?
perfect. So it sounds like it actually makes it easier to have that base or that foundation to start with.
Yeah,
And
I mean, we are really excited to do our own IPs very soon. But we love to port, well, I wouldn't even call it a port when it comes to Green Hell, because we really had to start it from the scratch, having just the environment, really. So when it comes to ports, I think it's the most important thing is to stay true to the original, to the feel of the game. And that could be a challenge sometimes when you have different ideas, when you want to take something a different direction, for sure. Um, but I think that porting a game, everybody thinks it's super easy. Everybody thinks to port a game, you just need to add another camera, just switch some things, and that's it. Well, if you do it right, it's not like that.
yeah. It's like, I mean, look, I have no development experience whatsoever, but I can imagine VR is a completely different space to flat screen. I mean, there's probably so many different things you have to think of that I
Yeah.
cannot imagine for 1 second that it would be in any way easy. And yeah,
Exactly. So it's kind of funny also. A lot of people ask me if the co-op is going to be playable with the flat screen version. So if we can combine crossover too. And honestly, I don't think that's technologically possible yet. So it's a question that's coming up all the time. So maybe here to everyone, I don't think that's possible yet, but if it's gonna be, yeah, let's do it.
yeah. Absolutely. Look, I mean, yeah, it's a challenge. I can imagine it's a challenge. And would is co-op coming to both? Is there going to be co-op for Quest and PCVR versions of Green Hell VR?
So when it comes to co-op, we really, really, really want to do it as it's a big part of Green Hell. And we want to move it to VR as well. We can say a lot more about the co-op version now, but I can assure you that we really want to make it and we're working on it.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, look, I really hope you manage to pull off the co-op, but even as a single player experience, I'm sure it's going to be amazing. So to say I am excited about Green Hell VR is really an understatement. I'm really looking forward to this one. Like I said, it's one of my most anticipated VR games of the year. But in your own words, and you said plenty already that's got me excited about this game anyway, but in your own words, is there anything you want to add to really get us excited about this game?
I think for me, the most exciting part is that it's open world. Uh, it's a huge map. It's you can go anywhere, everywhere. Obviously, you got to be careful because there's predators and so on and so forth. But I think that's one of the most exciting things is that you get to explore the jungle, find things. There's amazing views that are there, waterfalls, um, amazing scenery, really, that gets you in this deep immersion. And also, I would say that checking the legs and seeing the legs themselves as you walk through the jungle in VR, I mean, come on, it's amazing.
It does sound amazing, and that you mentioned the open world, and that is something
Yeah.
I'm really excited about. That's one of the biggest things as well, as well as the hands-on stuff you can do in the game. Just the open, expansive world that you have. I don't think there's enough of games out there like that in VR right now, and I think this would be a welcome addition. My question, I guess, following on from that, would be: is the Quest version going to have a similar kind of open world environment as say the PC VR version? Are we going to see an open world environment on the Quest version 2 given its limitations?
So it's going to be as open as the platform allows. So we are still aiming for the most environment that you can get. There's going to be a few ways that, yeah, maybe you can go there or there, but you're not going to know because there's going to be a hill or there's going to be something, and it's going to be in a very natural way that you're going to be moving through the jungle. So it's not going to even feel like it's limited. It's going to feel like it's open world environment, which we are still aiming to do, really.
Yeah, brilliant.
But yeah, as I said, PC, absolutely open, explore everything, jump in every river, every lake. Yeah, just watch out for the leeches
Yeah, that's
and crocodiles.
and yeah, pretty much everything's out to get you. I was going to say, yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Look, I mean, I know with the Quest there are some limitations, so there are limits to what can be done. But to hear you say that you're going to maximize as much as possible that interaction, immersion, and open
Yes.
world feeling, as much as the hardware allows. That's that's a, that's
Exactly. This
fantastic.
is why we started developing the Quest version separately because we didn't want to cut from the PCVR version. And then, the players are going to look at it and be like, "Hey, but this is a cut version. Why
Yeah,
would I want that?"
yeah.
Right? So we really want to get to both types of players, to the PC and to the Quest user. And that's why we wanted to do it separately. So we really have the best interest of that player and that platform in heart.
All right, I think I have one final question, and that question is, what does the future look like for Incuvo after Green Hell VR? Do you have any plans, any other future projects you're working on or you plan to work on? What does that look like?
Yes, we are working on quite a few future projects, I would say maybe. I cannot give specific names yet, but there is a big IP that we are actually discussing right now, as well as a few IPs that are from, I would say, more of the pop culture. So without any game yet done for that IP. So I cannot give you names, but I can tell you that we're really working on it. We also have a sister company that's Spectral Games, and they're going to be also producing some VR games.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, I can't wait for it. I was going to say we'll wrap it up there, but I'd like to give any guests the last words. Any final words before we wrap up the interview, Cami?
Well, first of all, Tony, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been fun. And final words, well, to all the fans, to everybody that's watching Tony, thank you for listening. And I really, really hope you love the game. Follow us on all social media, on Discord, and ask questions. It's going to be either me or our developers answering. So you really get like a first person contact with us. So, yeah, please talk to us and enjoy the game.